Hey YouTube, it's your boy Mizuki back in another video, and in today's video I'll be going over and finalizing an ongoing debate that's been boiling since I first set foot in Peroxide. Yes guys, the Timegate and invasion controversy. Now for those of y'all that didn't know, basically the argument goes like, I think Timegates are better because this and that, and I think invasions are better because this and that. Yeah, I know, I bet you expected a lot more from that, but anyways, I've done some research and logically dug into this whole mess, and Timegates is better for many reasons, like many, which we'll get into ASAP. But y'all know me, before giving life to these videos, I went over all this info with the active members of the game, the mods, and the content creators such as myself, as well as the Peroxide Encyclopedia, the Trello. I've also made time segments for this video as usual, the first part aside from this intro being the background and the basics, the general anatomy of both of these worlds and how to get into them. The second part will be the ranking itself and why invasions is overrated compared to that of the Timegates, and lastly I'll cap off with a nice outro as always. Now without further ado, let's hop right into the video. For those of y'all that don't know or just want to refresh your memory, in order to actually get into these events, it's fairly simple. The S rank invasion, you basically have to either be in Las Noches, Ender Soul Society, or Wonder Ridge, which for those of y'all that didn't know is the Quincy world. And basically you gotta talk to one of the three faction generals. There's one in each world. For example, for the Soul Reapers, you can speak to Captain Tojo, who'll give you an option of going on an invasion, any rank invasion, to the opposite world. Again, there are three in each one, scattered in their own worlds. For those of y'all wondering, no, you can't invade your own world. These generals could also send you on side quests. I'm just kidding, they can't. There's no such thing as side quests. But anyways, that's how you get into the S rank invasions, which I bet literally 90% of y'all know, 95. Now as for the Timegates, it's also a lot more simple than that. It is a lot more simple than that. It spawns for 20 minutes at a time every hour, global time, not server age, aka it's basically a green orb surrounded by aura, and it'll spawn in 8 and then again at 9, so it's best to join as soon as possible for the most luck out of them. But yeah, basically that, you know, it's a lot better than just running around and like talking, you know what I mean. That's a really stupid reason. But anyways, now onto the rationale, and with the basics out of the way. Now the reason why I think the Timegate is a lot better than the S-Rank Invasion, aside from the fact that it's a lot easier to get into, is one, drop chances are a lot better. Like your chances of getting a godly drop are a lot higher due to the fact that it's more quote-unquote difficult game mode. It can be seen as being more unfair since you can't solo it or anything unless you're like a demon, but I feel like in general, if you're a weak player and can't beat a team with your team, you don't deserve a godly either way. But if you're actually good, your shot at winning is pretty high unless you're versing some actual sweats. So overall, it would make sense why the drops are better, but you also have a higher shot at receiving at the Time Remnant and Timegates, which makes sense because the Time Remnant, Timegates, you know? And believe it or not, I've played around 80 S-Rank invasions on my free time, and never have I ever received a Time Remnant. I don't know if it's just my luck, but that's what happened. And ironically on the Trello it says that there's a chance of receiving a Time Remnant drop in invasions, primarily S-Rank, but that's just cap basically, or at least the way I see it. The drop rates are so low that it could be cap at this point. Also, for those of y'all that don't know what a Time Remnant is, let's just say it's something that's better than a godly drop. Sorry, I have like a flu, because it lets you choose between a godly drop and some other cool perks. The item, once used, gives you options on what you want to receive. Another thing is, Timegate has better stat bolsters than that of the invasion. It has even been stated in the Trello by saying that Timegate grants a large boost or stat boost on the stat choices, obviously, while invasions just like a normal stat boost. And to back it up, most of the people I've talked to about this, and myself included, have always gotten crazier stat boosts from Timegates than that of any rank invasion. Giving it a superiority in that category, of course. Also, for all my new players here, Timegate is a lot better. Is a lot better of a raid because it's the only one that allows for carrying. So if your team is just going crazy and all demons, you're sort of in the back chilling. You'll get practically the same reward, or so I noticed. And last but not least, I've mentioned previously in my time gate video that pity system is a lot shorter than that of the invasion system. And as it says here, for time gate, if you win 45 time gates and don't receive a godly, then the pity system will kick in and drop you a godly. And as for the invasions game mode, you will only be given a pity drop if you've won 70 S-rank invasions and haven't received a godly yet. Clearly the S-rank invasions pity requirement is a lot higher than that of the time gates. Although invasions can be a lot lighter and less time consuming since you can solo them for the most part, but not really if you're bad. You gotta be really good to solo them. I believe that time gates are better due to the fact that they can be a lot easier due to the team carrying and definitely more rewarding, as I mentioned previously. Also, your chances of receiving a godly in a time gate, especially if you're one of the best in a server, is very high. And many other leading factors obviously lead me to believe that time gate is overall the better pick if you're looking for a fun and rewarding way to spend your time. And now, although time gates appear at a certain time, while invasions you can do whenever, I still feel like sometimes the wait is worth it. And while waiting, you can grind for S-rank invasions anyways. So yeah. But aside from that, Update 4 is literally right around the corner. Its release date hasn't been released yet or stated, but clues that the game will release sometime mid-November have been given. So for example, after the Halloween event ends, there's a little conspiracy theory. So November 14th is the time when the update may release. Some people are begging for it to be released post-Thanksgiving, primarily content creators. But obviously that will not happen because what the hell? But yeah, on that note, like, sub, all the proper things, and I'll see you on the next one. Ciao.